Hi, I'm Christopher Burden-Strevens and I'm an ancient historian here at the University of Kent. My research focuses on Roman history in the 2nd and 1st centuries BC. This is a really exciting time when politics at Rome is changing dramatically and the Roman political system was becoming increasingly unstable and fractious. By the middle of the 1st century BC, Rome is at the head of this vast Mediterranean empire, but there's also a lot of poverty, inequality, and a lot of social unrest too. That unrest creates tension, and it's those tensions, as I show in my research, that lead ultimately to the collapse of the Roman Republic at the end of the 1st century BC and its transition into a monarchy. My first book explores that process and how it's described and analysed by later historians such as Cassius Dio. Cassius Dio wrote this monumental, ambitious and detailed analysis of how powerful generals like Julius Caesar rose to power and how they ultimately brought the Roman Republic to its knees. Much of my work's also focused on trying to unearth the secrets of the way in which Cassius Dio wrote the history of Rome, and why he's such a useful source to us today when we want to understand the history of the rise and fall of the Roman Republic. Roman history has something for absolutely everyone, and that's why I love teaching it to students so much. PC gamers, go ahead. Politics nerds, knock yourselves out. Archaeologists, done. It's not just all politics and warfare either. If you want to understand how the Romans lived and why Roman history unfurled in the way that it did, then you need to look at poetry, you need to look at ancient villas and wall art and tombstones, and you need to look at inscriptions too. Two of my favourite modules here at Kent are called The Rise of the Roman Republic and then The Crisis of the Late Republic. In these two modules, we look at all the stuff I've just described. We start in 350 BC, when Rome's just a small republican city-state, and we end 300 years later, when Julius Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, became Rome's first emperor after destroying the Republic. I especially love teaching about my research on Roman coins. Coins are the billboards of the ancient world. They give a fascinating insight into how Roman politicians wanted to present themselves to the people, and also the sorts of political and ideological questions that they were interested in or concerned about. Teaching is literally the best thing you can do if you want to research a new problem or a new question. I think that one of the things that you kind of forget when you really come to know and understand a topic is that most of your knowledge isn't actually obvious. You've got to start somewhere. What you know or what you come to know can sometimes seem like second nature, but it really isn't. So spending time with students who are coming fresh to Roman history for the first time really forces you to go exploring with them and to kind of unpack things bit by bit. My Roman history undergrads ask me questions that I just don't ask myself sometimes, like, why is that? Or how do we know that? This can really challenge you to question the assumptions that you have, and even actually to completely rethink your approach to something. We have some really spontaneous discussions and debates in class, and I think really that's the most productive and important part of learning, and the thing I love most about teaching here.